The book, 48-Hour Startup from Idea to Launch. In 1 weekend, Part 1 Introduction. If you had just 48 hours to launch a business, how would you even begin? No capital, no team, no tech skills, just a laptop, a Wi-Fi connection, and a dream that's been collecting dust in your drawer. Sounds crazy, right? Well, Fraser Doherty actually did it in just 1 weekend, and you can too if you know where to start. This book isn't a get-rich-quick blueprint. It's a wake-up call. Because waiting until you're ready might be the biggest trap that keeps you stuck forever. 48-Hour Startup is a slim book, but it hits hard, like a cold splash of water on a lazy afternoon. The author, Fraser Doherty, isn't some famous venture capitalist. He's not a tech wizard. He started his first business making jam, literally, in his grandma's kitchen. At just 14, he sold thousands of jars of homemade jam and went on to build Super Jam, a global brand. Then one day, he asked himself, can I create a real business starting from zero in just 48 hours? Not as a stunt, but to prove that starting a business doesn't have to be complicated. This isn't a textbook. There are no ROI charts, no unicorn case studies, no pitch decks. It's raw. It's real. It's full of trial and error. And it's packed with lessons that come from doing, not theorizing. It's a book for people with an idea, but no clue where to begin. For people who've been delaying because they don't feel ready. And for people who've read too much theory and forgotten the power of small, consistent action. In the next part, we'll walk side by side with Fraser as he starts from a blank sheet of paper and builds a real business in just 1 weekend. No coding, no team, just one person and belief in action. And maybe, just maybe, you'll find a bit of yourself in this journey. Let's move on to Part 2, the 48-Hour to Startup Journey. Part 2, the 48-Hour Startup Journey. You don't need a whole year to start something. You just need 1 weekend where you stop making excuses. Fraser started with absolutely nothing. No partner, no money, no design skills, no coding. Just one thing. The idea to build a real startup in 48 hours. Sounds impossible, but here's the twist. Constraints breed creativity. When you're hungry, you spot more options than when you're full. Day 1. The startup mindset. Build it. Don't overthink it. First, Fraser found an idea that was good enough to test. He didn't spend hours trying to come up with a perfect $1 million concept. Instead, he asked himself, what problem annoys me enough that I want to solve it right now? From his own frustration, he picked a small problem and a simple solution. That was enough. Startups don't begin with brilliance. They begin with irritation. Then he picked a brand name and bought the domain. Simple. Memorable.com. Not taken. Next, he created a logo, chose brand colors, and gave his business a personality. No designer needed. He used free tools like Canva and Logo Maker. 30 minutes later, he had a face for his brand. Finally, he wrote his product description in his own voice. No fluff, no jargon. He wrote like he was talking to a friend. Day 2. Make it real and test with the market. Fraser built a basic website. He didn't know how to code. He used simple drag-and-drop tools like Wix or Shopify. Click, drag, publish, done. Just one landing page, a contact form, and a Buy Now button. Done is better than perfect. Next, he sent his first email. He wrote to 10 friends and asked for honest feedback. Not to sell, just to listen. Because sometimes, one good question from the outside is better than 10 hours of thinking alone. Finally, he ran a test ad with a small budget. Facebook ads, $10. Targeted to the right people with the right message. If no one clicks, tweak it. If someone does, You've got a starting point. After 48 hours, no $1 million, no viral fame. But Fraser walked away with a real idea, a brand that existed outside of his head, his first users, and most importantly, the belief that he could start anytime he chose to. People overestimate what they could do in a year they haven't started, and underestimate what they could do with one weekend of real effort. Up next, we'll break down the most valuable lessons from Fraser's journey and why waiting until you're ready might be the biggest mistake of all. Let's dive into Part 3, Lessons You Only Learn by Doing. Part 3, Hard-Earned Lessons from a Real-Life Experiment. This book doesn't teach you how to become a millionaire. It teaches you how to crush procrastination and start today with exactly what you have. Number 1. Ideas matter less than experimentation. Most people think they need a genius idea to start. Fraser disagrees. He didn't chase perfection. He looked for something small that he could test quickly. People don't buy because your idea is clever. They buy because it solves their problem right now. Instead of writing a 30-page business plan, Fraser asked 3 simple questions. Does anyone care? Would anyone pay for it? Would anyone tell a friend? The answers aren't in a spreadsheet. They're out there in the real world. Number 2, no time? Start anyway. Fraser built what he calls a micro-business, something you can do on weekends, solo, without quitting your day job, but still capable of earning real money. You don't have to walk away from your career to follow your dream. Just carve out a few hours, like Fraser did. Not everyone can quit, but anyone can start small. Number 3, your brand doesn't need to be perfect. One of the biggest mental blocks? I don't have a nice logo or a fancy website. Fraser proves you don't need either. In 48 hours, he created a simple, working brand, a logo from Canva, catchy colors, a $10 .com domain. Customers don't care how long it took you to design a logo. They care if you're trustworthy and if you solve their problem. Number 4, a website can be built in hours and it works. Fraser isn't a tech guy. Still, he built an e-commerce site in one morning. With drag-and-drop tools, you can introduce your product, collect email addresses, and add a Buy Now button through PayPal or Stripe. Most importantly, your website isn't for showing off. It's for testing the market. Number 5, smart marketing doesn't need big money. Instead of blowing cash, Fraser used basic Facebook ads for $10 to $20 a day, personal emails to friends, and posts in the right Facebook groups. You don't need a crowd. You just need the right few people to get started. Lessons in a single line. You don't need to be perfect to start, but you need to start to ever become better. Fraser isn't teaching business theory. He's showing what happens when you stop overthinking and just start moving. Up next, we'll explore the invisible rewards this book offers, because it's not just about business. It's about courage, action, and personal freedom. Let's move to Part 4, Inspiration Beyond Startups. Part 4, Inspiration Beyond Startups. This book isn't just a guide to building a company. It's a manifesto for those who refuse to live on someone else's schedule. Let's start with this. This book doesn't teach you how to get rich. It teaches you how to begin. Let's be honest. If you're looking for a guaranteed way to make 6 figures, you might be disappointed, because Fraser doesn't promise anything. He simply tells you what he did. No fluff, no filters, just truth. He even says, I didn't write this book to teach you how to get rich. I wrote it to help you stop waiting until you're ready to do what you really want. And in today's world of overhyped promises, this kind of honesty is rare and refreshing. Now, what's the real value of this book? It's not in strategies or hacks. It's in giving you a mindset of action. Nothing changes if you don't start. Nothing happens if you keep waiting for the perfect moment. Fraser is not a genius, but he's someone who knows how to act. And when you take action, you don't just create a product. You become someone who's no longer afraid to begin. This book doesn't try to sell you on starting a business. It simply asks, if you do nothing for the next 6 months, will anything in your life change? Here's another truth. Not everyone will succeed in 48 hours, but everyone will learn something. Most of us won't build a profitable business in 2 days. Fraser knows that. But what you get is a shift in mindset from I can't do this to let's see what happens. From I need more time to I'll give it 3 hours this weekend. From I don't know where to start to let's just take the first step and see. That's the real win. And you don't need to be an entrepreneur. You just need to take ownership of your own life. This book is for office workers who want to build something of their own. Stay-at-home parents looking to earn from their hobbies. Young people who want to try before they commit. You don't have to quit your job. You don't need to build a massive company. You just need to build a more proactive version of yourself. Someone who takes action for what they believe in, no matter how small. In the next part, we'll talk about who this book is really for and why it might change how you think about entrepreneurship. Let's move on to Part 5. Who should read this book? So, Part 5. Who this book is for. Not everyone wants to be a business owner, but everyone should learn to act like someone responsible for their own future. Let's talk about the first group. Employees who want extra income but don't know where to start. You're working a full-time job, and maybe you don't plan to leave it. But deep down, you want another stream of income. Or maybe you just want to make something that's yours. This book is for you. It doesn't ask you to quit your job. It doesn't tell you to raise capital. It doesn't push you into taking big risks. It just shows you how to use a few weekend hours to start something small that could unlock something much bigger. Next, students and young people who need real experience, not just theory. You're learning marketing or business in school, but no class can teach you what it feels like to build something and put it out into the world. This book is like a hands-on crash course in real entrepreneurship. Build a brand in 2 hours. Create a website in half a day. Write copy, run ads, and talk to customers the next. It might teach you more than an entire semester. Now, let's talk about chronic procrastinators. This might be you or someone you know. People who always say, I don't have time. I need to learn more first. I'll do it when everything's perfect. Fraser started with jam jars and an old laptop. He reminds us that it's not learning that makes you ready. It's action that makes you better. The fourth group, entrepreneurs who want to rediscover that spark. Maybe you've launched something before. Or maybe you run a business now, but it's gotten complicated. You feel disconnected from why you started in the first place. This book is like a strong cup of coffee. It wakes up both your logic and your passion. It reminds you, entrepreneurship is still about curiosity and the courage to take that first step. You can start something new, something simple and exciting again. And finally, those who want inspiration, even if they don't plan to start a business. Because at its core, this book is really about personal freedom, turning thoughts into action, and living with intention, instead of on autopilot. It's about how just one weekend can change the direction of your life. In the final part, we'll wrap everything up with a quiet but powerful invitation to stop waiting and start moving. Let's go to Part 6, Final Thoughts and a Call to Action. Part 6, Final Thoughts. The world doesn't lack ideas. It lacks people who actually begin. From start to finish, 48-Hour Startup doesn't promise success. It promises something more powerful. It shows you how to actually begin. Fraser doesn't sugarcoat. He doesn't glorify startup life. He just shows you how to start small, how to test fast, and how to turn an idea into something real in just one weekend. At Investory Hub, we believe everyone has a personal project they've been dreaming about, an idea, a desire to live more intentionally, and sometimes the only thing missing is a gentle push. Maybe this book is that push, so don't wait. Grab your copy of 48-Hour Startup using the link in the description below. It's the easiest way to stop procrastinating and finally start something of your own. Every purchase through our affiliate link helps support what we do, bringing you more honest, practical, and inspiring content. If you found this video valuable, hit like, subscribe to Investory Hub, and share this video with someone who needs a quiet wake-up call to take action. We are Investory Hub, where books become action, and action leads to freedom. We'll see you in the next video, and may this weekend be the one where it all begins.